Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It has been a long break, but today the games have been very quick, and I'm hoping that this series is going to break that trend. We have our wildcard round, number 3. I'm joined by Spiff once again to help me introduce the players, if you will, please, Spiff.
All right, starting on the right-hand side of Iskellian Coast, spawning in as the blue UEF commander, we have JP Smith, who has started off with a quick air factory and is now filling in his eco and has some idle engineers. Mr. Steele, your girl would be distraught at this moment, I think.
Absolutely heartbroken.
And Nite, what's going on the other side of the map?
Across the bridge on the other side of the map, we have from China, it is the newcomer to SCS, our green and commander, starting up with 2 air factories. It is Seoul. I'm not sure what Emanon means. I doubt that's his name. It doesn't sound very Chinese, but in any case, Seoul is a very good player. We were just talking about it offline, and we called him a little bit of a mini fox, if you will. And I think that's an accurate description for him. Especially
well, he's thrown down a couple of quick air factories here, and it looks like he's going to take air dominance early.
And you do see a little bit of lag here, guys. It is really due to several reasons. Number one is we are in the West Hemisphere, and both these players on the East Hemisphere. And that's an absolutely crazy distance, obviously. And number two, Seoul, being from China, has to play over VPN. So it's a little slower as well. So please bear with us, as these bombs take forever to actually connect with their target. But they do actually target down that land factory.
I'm not sure if that was intentional or if that was just the unit AI aggroing on the factory, but it didn't really do a whole lot.
That, unfortunately, that Weedabov manages to pick off a Wasp in a 3v1 fight. And a radar is coming down for JP Smith. I'm not sure that is needed there, JP Smith, because you know what's coming your way there.
This is a reclaim? Not a capture, right?
I believe it is a capture, actually. It is a capture. A point defense is coming down for JP Smith as there is an engagement here in the air. Where are the Wasps? They just like melted away in a matter of seconds. Why is there a mobile missile launcher? I am not exactly sure.
I think JP Smith was anticipating that this ACU push would come with some point defenses.
Yeah, I guess that's not a bad plan. And I think JP was trying to execute the same type of strategy that he likes to do on this map, and namely he likes to put a naval factory here, and that engineer came from there. So I'm assuming that's what he wanted to do. There's that point defense going to be coming out. This time I don't agree with Seoul's decision here, because there are 2 point defenses for JP and the land factory being made.
This is going to cut off any sort of push towards the water, though. So, you know, maybe Seoul has been anticipating, and this is his plan to cut off the naval factory and make sure it doesn't go down.
Yeah, JP is doing a decent job here expanding. Actually, I thought he was ahead on expansions, but especially after that mass extractor in the front goes down, he is going to be behind here. He's not making anything out of that factory. That anti-air tower is in a really weird position, unfortunately. Oh, man. I was just telling you how I hope that JP has practiced for this match, and sadly, I don't think this looks like it, because JP is usually better than this. You know, obviously he's from Liga C. It's not as competitive there, but I think he definitely shows better games usually. Super surprising that this is double PD, going ham on that single PD that can't even hit anything. Okay, so we do have a mobile missile launcher that might help here. JP
The
needs...
factory's also plugging away with a factory TML, but so far that TML's targeting the commander instead of the point defenses.
Oh, really? Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a sucky part. Oh, those point defenses actually can't reach the factory here. Okay. And what is the transition from Seoul? Looks like he's just going to be building up mass extractors behind this because he started with actually a very aggressive build. JP, no, watch your rally points. Oh, no.
Oof.
Wow, did you see that factory block all those shots on the mobile missile launcher?
Yeah. Yeah, not bad.
Struggling for mass here.
And that point defense barely started building there. The commander tanking shots for it.
And again, the rally's still not fixed. JP, come on, man.
It's not as big a deal now that the shield's back up.
Right, but you still don't want to be rallying them to the front, and it looks like... Oh, I thought that was a ground fire. Never mind. This is just like a full-on PD push. You know, Seoul might actually just run out of steam here because there are 3 mobile missile launchers, and if they're rallied properly...
Yeah, and Seoul's factories have been turned off for a little while. He doesn't have any land production at all. He hasn't been making units, so
It
this
doesn't
is
matter
pretty
because
all in.
It doesn't matter because JP just is not controlling his mobile missile launchers, unfortunately. Like 3 of them die because they're not rallied to the correct position. Now he switches his rally point, but now it's a little too late. He's lost 3 of them, and there's 2 more point defenses that are going to be built in range here pretty soon. Air is also going ham there in the back of JP's base, taking out a mass extractor. Why are those... Okay, now there's a rally point that's actually going to the right place, but those mobile missile launchers still exited the wrong way. What? Because that makes sense.
Pathfinding. It's fucked up.
That is such bad pathfinding. That's not even, like... excusable. Alright, Seoul is abandoning his position here to go and PD push the main base. Okay.
I mean, not a bad idea, really. What can JP do about it?
Oh, he went ECU upgrades now. Okay, well.
He is going to slowly lose his position, though, with these 3-point defenses as the mobile missile launcher picks away at him.
Yeah, I mean, if I was JP, I wouldn't even care about this right now because it's not really going to do damage to you if you go around it. Unfortunately, he's just losing way too many point defenses. And so far, this does unfortunately look pretty one-sided. That air factory is now being captured as well. There's just nothing that can do damage to this ACU.
Are we going to see a Control K on the factory?
Probably not, is my guess.
I mean, what else is JP doing right now? He's not microing anything. There should definitely be a control... No, we're not going to see it.
Well, I will say this, and this is a stretch. This is giving him way too much credit because there is simple micro that you just need to do. But it is 1 a.m. for Seoul. No. Yeah, 1 a.m. for Seoul and 3 a.m. for JP Smith right now. So,
wow.
I will give him the benefit of the doubt, but still, you gotta at least fix your rallying points. Like that's not, it's not that hard to do. I feel like, and like I said, I feel like GP normally does better, but honestly, I don't see him get rushed like this normally.
Yeah, he seems to be caught really off guard by the
yeah,
push at the
super
beginning.
off guard. He was doing his normal build where he takes the base up front and you know, the naval factory, which works well when you set it up if you don't get rushed, but in this case it's just, yeah, I mean, it's the nastiest type of play from an Aeon when you just get pushed like this. Now there's an engineer, a UEF engineer here, so you don't really need that. You can just finish the game, to be completely honest here, especially if you have overcharge, which you might have. You have a research station up to the top left, but it's fairly early still.
That's a pretty recent research station, though. I think he would have had to go at least one at the beginning to be near overcharge by now. Does look like he has the range upgrade, I think.
Yeah, well, he has nanites, so...
I missed the nanites.
Now there's tanks. I would maybe even get mobile missile launchers, but yeah, I mean, there's no point defenses here. He is resuming air production because he just has way too much mass at this point, I'm guessing, because he's taken over his opponents as well. Probably is going to build more point defenses. JP just doesn't have any money at all. He's been trying to rebuild that land factory over the wreck, and he doesn't have enough mass for that, or to even build a point defense there, or to build any units, it looks like.
Yeah, I mean, building on the wreck would be nice, but I think you need that mass more, and he probably ought to just reclaim it.
And what is this engineer doing? This engineer is going to end all... Oh, he's going to reclaim. Okay, well, that's not a bad idea. But honestly, this is pretty hopeless. Get it? Because hope is not in the game. Got him.
So witty.
I know, I practice just for this.
It shows.
Yeah. Where's Mr. Steele when you need his witty puns and whatnot? But yeah, nothing really I could say more about this match, unfortunately. I think JP Smith just, yeah, like Smith said, I think this was not expected by him. And this is his map pick, so I absolutely do think that he was trying to do his build. But when I guess even it is kind of surprising that Seoul decided to push like that, seeing one air factory and opening up 2 air factories himself. It is a little surprising.
I think this was exactly what he had in mind, because if this was JP's map pick, and you're saying that he does that naval factory build a lot, I think Seoul crafted this strat specifically for JP Smith on this map.
Yeah, you know, you might be right. Yeah, you definitely want to push them, and as Aeon, you definitely have the tools. But I feel like if he wanted to push him from the start, maybe a land opening would be better. But who knows? Maybe in China it's a little different. I don't know if he was AFK or not. I don't know. I mean, we saw the same thing with when he was playing. No, that was Rexnar. Or was it JP? I don't remember. Somebody in the 2v2 during East versus West showdown, there was an air player that was, I think it was JP, that wasn't doing anything with his air forces. Bombing run coming in on the anti-air tower. Okay.
I mean, to be fair, you're always talking about how people aren't doing anything with their air, so you're probably... It could have been anyone, really. Anyone who played an air air spot that day. There was probably a moment where you were like, come on, do something with your planes.
Okay.
Looks like JP's... I don't know, is he doing the Walk of Death here, or is he giving up?
No, I don't know, but honestly, there's 2 structures and 2 units. No, sorry, 4 units for our blue player here. And it doesn't look good.
No, it does not.
And unfortunately, I was hoping that JP Smith really practiced for this match, but he hasn't looked himself today.
Well, this is only game 1, so he's got 2 more chances to come back and take a couple of maps off of Seoul and move on in the tournament.
Yeah, game 2 will be on Coalition, so it is a little more Aeon favored. You guys did see the statistics, and I tend to agree with that. I think it's a very nice open air map for Aeon, and also Hardbogs are a possibility. There's just so many opening possibilities for Coalition for Aeon, and but I feel like Seoul doesn't use Hardbogs all that much from what I've seen him play, but I may be wrong. I've only seen a couple of matches maybe, but nevertheless, we are gonna go to game 2. Let's see if JP Smith can turn it around. We'll be right back, guys. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to game 2 between Seoul and JP Smith. We are on Coalition Shipyard, and we're going to quickly reintroduce the players. Spiff.
Alrighty. We're going to start down here on the south side, spawning in this time as the red Aeon. We have Seoul, who has started off with a very quick land factory. Interesting.
I was wrong about the
harbor.
Yeah, I was wrong about the harbor.
Given that Nite was saying that this was a good air map for Aeon. And Nite, who is his opponent on the other side.
Okay, well, to be fair, I don't know if it's a great air map, but I think it's a good possibility, and the fact that they have so many opening possibilities on this map, I think, is what was strong. But anyway, his opponent is the blue Yu-Gi-Oh! Commander, the man that really needs to pick up the pace if he has hopes for tying the series up and sending it to Game 3. It is our Australian Taurus, JP Smith.
And Scout coming out here. And it looks like Seoul is just planning to push up and take the center and keep some forward momentum here.
Yeah, he's going to scout over that land factory and is going to see, probably not going to see it. No, he's going to see a Harvog popping out. But even without it, I think it's a safe option on this map to assume that it's a Harvog opening. And so it'll be interesting to see what JP Smith does here. It looks like for now he's pausing his air production, which I actually don't disagree with. I really do like... Oh, no, he's switching to bombers. Okay, so at least that's decent. That's good transition here. He is going to plop down in a land factory, and overall, I'm okay with this opening. What about you, Spiff?
Yeah, it's really pretty standard, I think, for any faction on this map.
Yeah, much better so far. He's getting an early land factory. His engineers are expanding. And Seoul is actually pulling back his Harvogs. Interesting. Okay. I don't know what that's about.
I think he's intending on just using their AA to protect against scouts and bombers.
Is this going to be another ACU push? No, he's going to build a radar first.
I wouldn't be surprised if we saw another just aggressive push up the center.
Yeah, I mean, it used to be the meta, right? You push up against an air player with an anti-air tower. And now, of course, it's a little easier to spam out with 3 factories, so might not necessarily be the best of options, but it is an option, nevertheless.
And we have seen ground-based AA more and more in the recent meta, so Harvogs are a good choice for this sort of frontal push, as long as they're supported by a beefier unit like an ACU.
I like JP's Wasp positioning as well, using them to scout. Pretty nice there. Of course, those Harvogs are just going to tickle here and there. Let's those 2 Harvogs go, though. Oh, he's building a point defense. Well, given the number of bombers, I guess it's not a bad idea here. And I do like that he's using his air. It's just he doesn't have quite enough yet right now to do any. You know, I'm gonna sound like I'm gonna contradict myself saying, "Oh, you shouldn't use air," but it's a little too early now, guys.
Yeah, just not enough bombers to do much yet.
Nice little bit of micro attempt from J-Wick, or not JP Smith. He pulled back that engineer behind the mass extractor there. That's much nicer, and that's exactly what I want to see. See if he's able to do that, I feel like he's able to pull back a couple of mobile missile launchers. So I don't know what he was doing, what was going on that first game. Maybe he was AFK.
Unfortunately, the pullback was not enough to save the engineer, and so the commander's headed back to deal with those bots now.
Yeah, that mass extractor also went down like super quick.
And 3 more bots coming in on the left side. Yeah, JP is just having a hard time multitasking, it seems.
Okay, so he does pick off one bot. Okay, so yeah, we're seeing micro issues again. Those tanks are just sitting there. Yeah, I mean those bombers should really be focusing down that one bot in the base, and then the tanks should be engaging with the Harvogs. This isn't a terribly difficult push to deal with, I feel like. That mass extractor is getting focused down, so it will go down, unfortunately. I feel like that could have been prevented. And there's just harass all across the map by Sol, doing a nice job just peeling just 2 or 3 Harvogs, and that's is proving so far to be a little overwhelming for JP to deal with here.
Yeah, he's lost 3 mass extractors now to this harass.
Yeah, that's really, really good for the
2 of them now rebuilt, which is nice, but he lost his veterancy, and he's still got bots in his base causing trouble. I think the land factory is definitely what he needs right now, because he's been behind by 1 land factory, which is part of the reason he's having such a hard time dealing with these bots. The harass has really interfered with his macro, and he is behind on production. Meanwhile, Sol has thrown down another land factory in the middle that is just now, I think, popping out its first, maybe second tank. And yeah, JP continuing to stay behind on the production.
That bot is still alive in JP's space. Alright, finally gonna go down. That mass extractor is saved for the time being. You know, there's a decent amount of bombers now, and Sol isn't... I haven't seen him split too much. During the first tournament, he hasn't split, but during the last tournament, he did do a little bit of a better job. But here again, we see him not really splitting those bots. There we go. Now he splits it a little bit. I like that. Oh, perfect split. I like that a lot. There you go.
And JP's still trying to pump out enough tanks to deal with this, but...
And it looks like JP is gonna elect to try and push. Nope. Commander starts building an energy generator. JP, if only you saved a bit more bombers. I feel like you just wasted a little bit of them in the beginning.
Yeah, and he's not trading them very efficiently at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, those bots have shields on them. Is that correct?
Nope, no shields.
No shields yet? Okay.
But the focus fire has been lacking, and JP hasn't been controlling his planes out of the AA range during the time that they're not bombing.
Well, that's a little more difficult to do, and I can understand that. But yeah, I think Sol also did a good job splitting his bots earlier. There is going to be a push down the center. Looks like JP is going to try and go with his ACU and push this out. The problem is Aeon is so good at turtling against the low counts of units. This is going to be a difficult push. But then again, there isn't that many tanks. There's actually a lot of missile launchers. in that composition in Harvogs, so we'll see what JP Smith does. Maybe throw down one land factory would be good. Or sorry, point defense.
I don't know if he can really spare the mass right now, considering his economy is getting wrecked.
Shield does go up for Soul. That's really good.
And then all the units park themselves outside the shield.
Well, not all of them, but yeah. The front ones is where it matters. He hears, yeah, though, Spiff. He pulls him back under the shield.
And JP did a pretty good job of drawing fire with his ACU, but his health is getting down around the halfway mark, and
it looks like the mobile missile launchers from JP are focusing down on Soul's commander. It's also not
he's
the
lost
best.
quite a bit of HP as well.
Now he switched the priority to that land factory, but I think the shield on it is about to regenerate here.
Now those bots have shields, and 3 of them are still running amok in the back of JP's base.
Is there still? Oh my goodness. Now there's shields on those units.
That's what I just said. Pay attention.
No, you
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Sorry, I was reading chat. Apparently I was roasting earlier, but I don't know how that happened. No roasting attempt. Just trying to commentate what I see, I guess. I don't know.
Yep, Nite tells it like it is.
Looks like
Preemptive shield on those factories for JP.
and I think JP was trying to build another point defense, but the engineer gets sniped again.
Yep, exactly the same as it happened last time, except this time no micro. Once again, Soul just managing to pick apart at JP with Harass. Without playing, well, I mean, last game he was very aggressive on the front, but...
Yeah, I mean, it's I guess a different form of aggression, but Harass is actually really, I guess has high potential. High risk, high reward, because we've seen cases where the harass is honestly detrimental, where you're harassing and losing way too many units and your opponent isn't really losing anything. And yes, maybe you pick off a mass extractor, but if the units keep growing and growing and you're still on Harvogs when that push of tanks comes, well, that could be a little bit of a problem. JP does manage to put a point defense down here in the front, but pretty soon he's not going to be able to afford much again. He's just lost all of his mass extractors. And again, this is looking very, very rough for our UEF player. And research stations now coming out for Soul. He is very locked in his position here. There's 2 point defenses underneath a shield. A second factory is available for to get a shield up as well. And
JP throws down a factory in the middle here as well, but he doesn't really have enough mass. I mean, he barely has enough mass to produce out of the factories that he's got now.
Yeah, I think he'll be
really,
okay, but he won't be able to expand at all.
Yeah, I mean, that's a factory is like what, about 240 mass, and
yeah, I think so.
That's 2 mass extractors, almost 3 that he could have built instead.
Yeah, but at this point, where are you going to build him? He doesn't even have engineers, and there's bots everywhere on the map, so...
Yeah, I mean, the game's pretty much over.
Yeah. Spiff tells it like it is. Oh, man. Well, guys, I will use this time to I guess, make a couple of announcements. Again, we have one more match coming up after this. It is going to be Jawix versus Frost, a match I'm looking forward to. And the final So the quarterfinal, semifinal, and the final, of course, are going to be next weekend and Saturday. So make sure you check that out. That's going to be when the main event is going to be. And we have so many good players waiting for us in that quarterfinal already. The top bracket is still very, very stacked. I'm looking forward to every single match there. And we'll see who the matchups are for the bottom bracket here. It looks like from this game, it is going to be Sol as he's pushing forward with his tanks. And there isn't very many units here left for GP, even at that point defense. Those unit shields will be hard to break. And one more thing, guys, if you are wanting to contribute to the prize pool, please consider donating. There's a link down below. We have roughly $4 that carried over from the last tournament, but it would be super nice if you guys could contribute. If we get enough prizes, I will pay out the top or maybe even second place for the tournament. So please do consider donating to the prize pool. None of it goes to me. Everything goes to the prize pool. So if you hate Nite, but you love these tournaments and you want to continue to promote the competitive scene, please do click on that link down below. Sol gets the 2-0 lead and moves on to face Unknown Desire in the quarterfinal of the Serpents Open Winter Season Final. We will see what he brings to that game. But for now, we are done with this semifinal. Believe we have about a little less than an hour until the last one. So we will go ahead and do the pig bounce for that. And it will see you in just about 55 minutes back here for the last match of the day. Hope you guys are enjoying yourselves so far. We will see you very, very soon. If you're still watching, give a thumbs up to this video. If you liked the video, leave a comment. If you loved the video, please subscribe. And if you are blown away by it, check out my Patreon page. This has been Nite. Take care and peace out.